A enumerator is a large collection of lists of sort of one word values. So to make an enumerator, we right click and we can type in the word enum at the top, and that is short for enumeration. Or we can go to blueprints and select enum as well. And then we just open it up and we can add as many enumerations as we want. Now an enum is a type of byte, so the maximum it holds by standard is 255, and then after it goes to 256, it changes to an int 32 for the values. Here we have some examples of enums. So we have this weapon type. I've got unarmed, sword, spear, gun, rifle, and different kinds of states. So I've got idle, walk, run, sprint. An enum can be accessed from a structure, so we can add it to a structure. So if I type in e weapon types, then I get access to all the different weapon types. And then if I was going to implement this inside a data table, for instance, my data table would update with all of my weapon types, and I can select them for items. So I could have consumable items or weapons or armor, etc. And this would group them, and then I could run through a group and split them based off this. So to do that, we would just create a variable of our enum. So for this case, we have weapon types, and then I can set a default value. I've got the usual setters here, and we have a default value available to us. You'll notice that the default value always defaults to the first index. So make sure your first index is something that is usual. So if I don't have a weapon, I'm unarmed, and I want it to default to that. When I equip a weapon, I can set it to be a sword. And if I want to, I can print what value is attached to my character. So from here, print string, we go enum to string. And we'll print unarmed. If I set that new value to be gun, and then play, we've got gun as our new default value. There are other things that we can do. We can check if something equals. So we have an equals enum here, and we can check if the default value equals unarmed or gun, and then using our branch we can check that. We also have the option of selects that allow us to do different things based on what something is, and a switch as well. All of these we'll cover in a bit more depth later on, but for now, an enum is a long list of values that you can use to condense your code and make it so that instead of typing things in, so in a string format like this, you may type in sword, but one of your spellings would be lowercase, one of your spellings would be uppercase, whereas in an enum, it puts it all in one long list. Sword, we always use this spelling of sword, and it keeps it all organized and tidy and stops any logical errors.